You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine, go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You held me back when I tried to move on from your life. So you stole my life with clarity. So hold me back, now you're here. 'Cause I'm mad, show no fear. Wanna let you know just how it felt. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't you think we could? There's no way we could be. No, oh, no, 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 no. I know the way you look at me. I know it too well. Now I'm bulletproof. What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark. Like you already know me when we dance in the dark. We're dreamers. We live it. We're dreamers. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. We come alive. Oh, we come alive. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive.
I am off to invisible grounds. Don't know when to stop. Returning, it's not the way for me. Only a mile to go.
Hey everyone, welcome to lesson number 7 for List Growth Made Easy. If you've been struggling to grow your email list, you are somebody who needs to be doing this program. We only have another week and a half and it be gone. So we've been delivering a couple of lessons every week. Even if you're joining us for the very first time, it is not too late to go through and do the doing. But I've been creating a course live and on the fly, so everything that's been available here inside of the course or inside of the Facebook group or wherever you're watching will be disappearing in the next week and a bit. So you want to get in there and do it because lots of people have either paid to do it, but they've got lots of other things, 2 other courses that went along with it. But it'll be gone and it will be a paid program moving forward. So if you're brand new to the Sparkle world, please let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat. If this is the first time you've discovered the Sparkle world, then totally let me know. And if you are a Sparkle lifer, then you've just got to put some purple hearts and sparkles in so I know you're here. But this program is for those who know they need to build an email list. You see, as your business grows and develops, the one asset that you know is yours, unlike all the social media platforms, they are like you're building your business on other people's land if you're relying on social media being your main traffic source. This is why we've focused very heavily for the last 3 to 4 weeks to build you the assets to grow your email list. So up until last week, we covered being able to build the actual machine. So I didn't just tell you the what and the why, but literally the how. Click by click, showing you how to build out that marketing machine. All right. Now we're moving into how do we make this machine work? Now, because this is a live recording of a lesson, I'm going to be pausing and probably making mistakes along the way. And we do edit all of this to then come back and chop it up and put it into our course. So you're very lucky to be here during a live build. This is not something we do every month. Well, it has been for the last month or two. But this will be the last course that we build live like this for a very long time. So you're very, very privileged to be part of the live build process. So I hope everyone has been enjoying the live build process. Before we dig into the lesson, hi VIPs, hello, show me your sparkle hands, come on in. So some of our VIPs like to watch out there on the live stream and then some of them jump in. Excellent, guys. So nice to see you all joining me. We've got some really great content to cover today and I can't wait to dig in with you all. Awesome. All right, guys. So we have some pretty awesome content that we'll be dropping for you today. And as you know, what I would like to do before we actually get into the content, I really want to recap what the machine is that you have actually built. So let me head over to the decent recording screen for this part. Well, you've now created your machine, that marketing machine that you need to start putting people into. But before we talk about how to get people into them, let's do a quick recap on everything that you have built so far. So let's head on over to my whiteboard and get into that just so we can recap about all of the pieces that you have built click by click with me. Here we are in my whiteboard and let's just map out what you have done so far. So the first piece of the pie was you built this little freebie. Okay, it's a little gift that you created in the first 2 lessons. We created this free gift that you're giving away. And in return for that, they're going to give you their email address. So they don't pay you for it, except for with that email address. So once we've built that freebie, you then went forth and created a landing page or an opt-in page. And the purpose of this page is to collect the email address, which you've done. Then the next step you did was we created a thank you page, which had a little video on it. And on there, we're making them another little offer and we're asking them to give up a little bit of their money or a little bit of their time. And we spoke a lot about giving up their time in relation to a one-on-one with you. All right. Much better if you're not yet hitting that 10 to it and celebrate. Congratulations. You have literally built yourself a marketing machine. Now, this is one of many more automations that you will build over the life of your business, but this is the start. Because you have literally done the doing. You've learned the starting stages, and I'm sure you've got lots more questions about what about the future? That's to come. But you need to stop and celebrate that you built this amazing bridge. Okay, so promise me you're going to do that. And then I'm going to get you to move into the next lesson, and we're going to talk to you about how we're going to start to put people into this funnel. All right, now before I jump into the traffic source, I've got to come across to the VIPs because this is the exciting part, guys. This is the piece of the puzzle that we have now built. Like we have literally, well, some of you have finished, but I want to get your feedback on what are your thoughts with where you started to where you are now. So I'm looking for 3 people who would like to share. Or I'm just going to call someone.
I'm good, Sally.
Yes.
I think where I started was confused, frustrated, buying programs, getting more confused, more frustrated, and then coming into this click by click with you. I feel confident, even when I get a little bit of self-doubt, I always know Sally's going to be on sometime this week, and I'm going to be able to check with her.
I love that. Yes. Oh, that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. Cindy, how about you? Because I know you were really scared of the tech. So tell me where you were when we started and now where we're at.
Yeah, totally scared of the tech, and still a little bit that way, but I have gained a lot more confidence along the way because I have the trust in the process that I know that you will deliver the click by click to help me through it. But in saying that, I'm still stuck back at lesson 5, but that's another question for another day. But overall, yeah, it's been fabulous. I've really felt supported, which was great.
Awesome. I love that. Yes. And I know you were, because I've been working with Cindy since DCA, I believe. So it would have been sort of September maybe last year. Would have been.
And the Canva course as well.
That's right. We didn't get into the real business end of things until recently when you're like, okay, now I have all these ideas. How do we get people to us? And who else would like to share when they first started to where they are now? Don't be shy. I'm going to call Tammy. Oh, Karen's unmuted. Go, Karen.
I have been dragging my feet for a long time trying to get to this piece, and I'm still back on lesson 5, but I'm just amazed at where I started 3 weeks ago and where I am now. I've done more in 3 weeks than I've done in 3 years. So it's just amazing to me. And I'm really excited because I'm getting to see the end of the tunnel finally. So I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I am going to call Tammy because I did call her out and I don't want her to think that she's getting away with it because...
Darn. I was going to say, thanks, Karen. Well, I'm still stuck not stuck. I rethought things. I talked with Karen and the approach I was taking was okay, but she talked me through some of my thoughts that I was getting stuck on in here. And now I've started over. And I'm surprised that the second time that I've done some of these things from lesson 1, I can do it. I know where I'm at and what I'm doing. I didn't have to step by step go back and look at the video every time. I still went through the video, but not every step. I could start to figure out what I am doing.
That's it. Every build gets easier, right? Mm-hmm. It's actually finishing the process end to end. You learn so much, and then every time you build things, it's going to get easier. Not only that, you're going to start having assets that you've created that you just have to duplicate and like just tweak the words for each of the different offers and the different positionings that you create as you move forward. But you've built a foundation now that you can then start to really, really build upon and start tracking sexy numbers. That's where I get excited when you come back with sexy numbers. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Let's head into the next section of this lesson. All right, so you've got this amazing funnel. You have this thing in place, and then you're like, well, now what? How am I supposed to put people into it? Well, don't you worry, I've got you covered. I'm going to give you a whole plethora of options, and what you need to start doing with all of these different options is pick one or two. All right, so I'm going to give you lots of options, but I don't want you to do them all. Okay, I need you to pick the thing that you think is going to work best for you and your scenario. So as we work through this, I'm going to jot it on the whiteboard for you as well and talk you through each of the different options. It keeps defaulting back. All right, here we are. All right, so we're now in the whiteboard, and what we're talking about is what we call traffic sources. Okay, so traffic sources is where do we find the smile and happy people that actually really want and need our help. All right, so this is our traffic source. There are so many different places you can go. So I'm going to go through a list of them, and then you have to decide where do you want to spend your time finding people. So there are always a trade-off of time and money. In regards to this, things that don't cost you any money are going to take you time, and things that take money are going to save you time. And then we're going to talk about the math on the results that you're going to look at. So first off, some of the places that you can look at is, as you can all think, is social. All right. So you've got lots of places on social you can go to find traffic. So think about, you've got Facebook groups, you've got Instagram, you know, there's TikTok. Depends if you're one of those people. I'm definitely not. There's LinkedIn. There is any type of social media platform that you can think of. And you need to get yourself in front of people through going live, through delivering content, and think about the freebie that you're giving away and how can you teach a small portion of it and then say, if you want more, send me a DM. Remember, we really strong calls to action. Drop a comment below. Or if you want, you can even say, I've put the link above or below. So think about how you're going to deliver it, and you need to show up consistently. Now, it doesn't mean every single time you go live or do a post, you're driving people directly into that, but you will show up consistently, and at least a few times a week you will be teaching around that topic, and stay on point. Do this consistently for the next 30 to 60 days, putting people into this funnel. So how can you teach a little bit of what's in there and you want more? I've put together this amazing resource. All right, other places, then what you want to do is you want to get them into the DMs. Okay, because inside of the DMs, you can then create a stronger connection. Now, you might call this Messenger, or some people call them PMs for personal messages, or the inbox inside of Instagram, or the inbox in WhatsApp. It doesn't matter. It's where you can now have a private backwards and forwards conversation with somebody. All right. So the goal of social media is to deliver the content. And yes, maybe some of them will click the link to get into your funnel. But the best way to build a relationship is drop them, get them into your DM. Shoot me a message and I'll send you through that information. Right? Or say more, please. And then in the chat, say, hey, look, I'm going to shoot you a link, or I would love to chat with you more in the DMs. The goal of the DMs then is to build a conversation. We're going to talk more about that in the next lesson on how you build that conversation. But the DMs is another traffic source. Now, another one you can think about is networking events. Okay? So there are lots of different networking events that you can attend locally and online to meet new people. Don't go in there thinking, I got to get lots of email addresses. Do go in there thinking and giving yourself a goal of how many connections you're going to make and how many of the giveaways you're going to give away. But at the end of that, you want to walk away with some email addresses that you add to your list, and you can send them an email and say, oh, it was so lovely meeting you at this event. So we're touching base with them, and then start a conversation going on further. Now, there are so many different ways to go to networking events. Have a look in your local area. Most places you live, there are people that run business connection events that you can go along and have a coffee and meet people. And moving to that, there's also summits. All right, summits, or you could call them conferences. So summits and conferences are places where you go to potentially learn something, but do spend the time to network. Now, when you're at an in-person summit, there's always breaks. Don't go and sit in the corner by yourself. Go up, chat with people, ask them about them first, because people love to talk about themselves. And then you can talk about you, and then if they want more information or you want to connect, make sure you exchange contact information, which is email addresses, okay? Now, you might think, oh, but how do I do that on an online summit? Well, there are lots of online summits that also do breakout rooms. We do them. Have you been asking for email addresses in breakout rooms? I wonder if you have or not. So and then normally if I go into a breakout room, I will send them a message if there's a DM or a private way to message people. And when we go back into the main room, it was so lovely chatting with you. I'd love to get to know you more. How can we catch up sometime? And then they will send me their DMs. Do you know, their email address? Do you know inside of Zoom, there's a private message function that you can private message people and start a conversation inside of Zoom to potentially build a relationship with people? Okay, so that's another one. Online summits, conferences, any online places, you can do that as well. Now, another one, which is I'm a huge lover of, is joint ventures. So if you don't know, I work with Amy Porterfield and Shalene Johnson. I've worked with Brock Johnson and quite a few other people with joint ventures. So I can't even list, I could not tell you all of them, but what we're doing is a joint venture is finding somebody that is not competition but complementary to your business. So somebody in the same niche that helps support what it is that you do. So for example, if you're a health coach and your main focus is gut health, maybe you can find other coaches with mindset and exercise and, people that help people with autoimmune disease. I mean, all the things that go along outside of that one specific area you teach in the health industry. Ask them, actually serve their audience. So what you want to do is say, hey, I would love to help your audience with serving them and teaching them something that can help support their people. Make sure you go into the joint venture knowing what the person serves, okay? Do a bit of background research into them, really edify them, tell them they're amazing and you'd love to work with them and why you love their content. And then you promise that if you come in and you deliver some value, so you teach a little something, right? And at the end of it, you say, hey, and I've got an additional resource, and send them into your funnel. The other great thing with a joint venture is if you've got a service or a product as well, you can talk to the joint venture person and say, hey, if I make any sales out of this, I'm going to give you 20 or 30% of the commission or a commission on top of the sale. So when I work with Amy and also Shalene Johnson, I get a percentage of their sales, anyone who comes in through me, because they're tapping into my audience and therefore they pay me when I bring people to them. And the same that we do with our joint venture partners as well. We pay them for letting us get in front of their audience. Now, joint ventures are a fabulous way to start out if you've got no money And you can go and approach people that already have built an audience, serve their audience, give value to their audience as well. Now, another one is podcasts, okay? Now, there's two ways that you can go about podcasting. One, be a guest. Reach out to lots of people who run podcasts and have podcasts. Make sure you've listened to their podcast. Make sure you've found some really great value in their podcast. Edify them. Make sure that you tell them what some of the things that you loved about their podcast, and reach out to them and leave testimonials on their page and in their podcast. So you're giving first, and then ask. There's no harm in asking. Maybe they're looking for podcast guests. You would love to come and serve their audience and share with them how the content you have can help them and their audience. And a lot of podcasters are always looking for content to fill the episodes that they do. Now, the second part of the podcast is start your own. The great thing about starting your own is people love to talk about themselves. So you can start reaching out to people who want to be interviewed and set up, like we're not doing it at the moment, but we used to have a day twice a month where we would do podcast batching days, and we would book anywhere between 3 to 5 people to interview on that day. We would broadcast live each of those, then we would chop them up and get them ready to put into the podcast across YouTube, across all of our other social platforms. They invite their guests or their people to come and watch because they want to be seen in front of their people of being interviewed, and then you're getting your face again in front of their audience. So podcast, two ways: be a guest or invite people to be a guest on your own, and just ask questions. People love to talk about themselves. Another one, if you're a speaker and you're on stage, make sure that you have the offer within your appearance on stage. So there's a couple of ways to do it. One is when you're on stage, you can have a phone number text that they can text to get them in. Guess what the other thing is? Have a QR code. Everyone knows how to use QR codes now since COVID. Put it up on the big screen. You can set up a free QR code, or you can have a QR code set up in your Canva Pro account. Pop it up on screen. Everyone, guess what? Snaps while you're on stage to get your resource. So that's another way to get people into it. Think about also join business networking. I'm just going to write networking organizations. So there are things like BNI. So the Business Network International is a huge organization that's spread all over the globe. They only accept one person from each niche, and they're constantly giving each other referrals. They are putting not only giving referrals, but they're supporting each other's businesses, and they're actually awarded for helping support each other. Yes, Chamber of Commerce. Another one that we're part of here locally is called Business in Heels. So it is all about women. They're actually a global one as well. So you can get in front of their audience. They're actually interviewing me in a couple of weeks to put in front of their audience to share my story. And then also there's multitude of networking events that you can go along to and be part of that community. So join business networking organizations. Now there is usually a fee, but they're like I can't remember how much I pay for Business in Heels, but it's like a few $100s a year. It's not very expensive. And then there's lots of extra events that we get to go to. So the other one that you can do is there's also paid groups. So we're in a paid group online, on social, on Facebook, that allow you to advertise in those groups. So have a look around and see if you can afford it. I believe one of the ones that we're in is about $97 a month. They let me teach every week if I remember to teach. It depends if we're running a promotion. They also let me post every week a promotional post in there each week, which drives traffic to our different things. And the fact is, once our videos are in the group, they're in the group forever. Plus, they've got lots of other networking events and things that you can attend as well. That one is, I think it's called Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. It's a massive group. The group itself, it's in the hundreds of thousands of people. It's a massive group. She's one of the original group people that sort of really went well on Facebook in groups. And then she has a network called, I can't even think of what it's called, Stand Out Online, maybe, something like that, where once you're a member, you can post, no questions asked, and drive traffic through. But make sure you're not one of those people that just get in there and here's my free thing, right? Deliver value and then drive people into the traffic source. All right. Now, the first few that we've spoken about, right, up to sort of the speaker, so all of the first lot, they're really time-based. So as you can imagine, having to have lots of conversations, having to get people into the DMs, and it's going to take you longer to get the numbers of people into your traffic. Okay. Now, the same with some of these business networking events, you pay a small price to be connected with the right people, but there's still time and effort involved. Now, everything's going to take time or effort because we need a certain amount of number of people through our funnel to look at the numbers to make an informed decision if it is working. So these ones are going to take you a little longer, or those ones are going to take you a little longer to be able to get you to the numbers we need to run the math. Now, the other one is paid ads. Now, when it comes to paid ads, one thing, do it if you've got the money to do it. Okay, you don't need a lot of money to run paid ads, but you do need to be willing to lose money in the ads. Because remember, the money the time and effort we spend and the money we spend today affects our bank account in 3 to 6 months' time. So you'll build your list quicker. And, you know, we might throw anywhere between $500 to $1,000 down just to test that our words are good. You don't have to spend that much money, but we've got the capacity to do that. But also, I can get those results in anywhere between 48 to 72 hours versus weeks of manual labor trying to drive people into the funnel. So if you don't know how to do ads, learn, or again, time and money, pay someone to do it. We pay someone. I used to do them. I used to teach them. It's not the area I want to live in. Therefore, I decided I'm going to hire myself out of that job. And the two types of ads we do are Facebook and IG. Those two are all run through the same paid ads software. And then the other one that we're starting to expand into, because this is the year of YouTube for the Sparkle world, is we're starting to now expand into the YouTube space. But I chose one bridge when I started, and I wanted to get really good at Facebook. There was Instagram, TikTok, or there wasn't TikTok back then, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Twitter, all the things. And I said, I'm going all in on Facebook. And I would say 5+ years more than we spent our time focused on honing and dialing in Facebook. Last year, we thought we'd jump into Clubhouse. Kind of didn't happen. This year, we're like, okay, where do we want to go? And we're really focusing in on YouTube this year, as well as continuing our growth on Facebook. If you look at us on Facebook, you'll see we've got nearly 120,000 followers. If you look at us on Instagram, we've got like 2,500. And if you look at us on YouTube, we've not even hit 1,000 yet. Why? Because we haven't put any effort into those spaces yet. But we've been able to become the business we are by choosing one bridge and go all in. So now I've covered all the different types of traffic sources that you can now go out and put people into. And what I need you to do is choose something and go all in on it. Dial in on it. Work out what's the best way to get people into DMs. How do I talk to people at networking events? How do I approach joint venture partners? How do I get on or start my own podcast? Think about the thing you want to go all in on and then give it 5 years. Stick with it. And the first goal for you will be the sexy numbers that you do to then start looking at your results. So I'll meet you in the next lesson where we're going to talk about the sexy numbers and when you're allowed to actually make changes to that new funnel that you've built. All right, guys, we're not going to head into that just yet. I'm going to come across to the VIPs and get some feedback on what we've just covered. So VIPs, looking for 3 people to an aha moment of something that we just covered. So what came up for you? We're doing Q&A later, so I'm just looking for the, aha, I just learned something. Yes, Cindy.
QR code.
Yes.
So, okay. How do you do that?
Yeah.
So in Canva,
Yes. So what I'd like you to do is go to my YouTube channel, and on my YouTube channel, I actually did a lesson on how to create a QR code and put it on a business card. But you can just literally make that QR code and put it onto a PowerPoint presentation or anything like that. It was only a week or 2 ago I made it. So there's a whole lesson on that over on, and if you're in the Canva Club, it will get edited and put up there in due course, but it's on the YouTube channel at the moment until we get it in.
okay, so I'm just currently creating a PowerPoint presentation for a presentation I've got to give next week to a networking business women's group.
Yeah.
So
Fabulous.
with the QR code, so could I put that as a whole big picture, maybe the last slide in my Canva presentation? And then what do they take a photo?
They just take a photo from wherever they're sitting and it'll automatically open up. I mean, everyone who's ever taken a photo walking into the shopping centres or whatever that we do now, same deal. It'll recognise it. If you go to, I think there might be one that you can test. If you go to my business page, Sally Sparks Cousins on Facebook, I think we threw a QR code up there just to show people, point your phone at it, see what happens. When you are on the Sally Sparks Cousins business page, so log in on your computer, point your phone at it, and it should take you straight to our website. I just threw it up there as a bit of an example for people to go and play with. And the lesson, the Canva lesson, you'll be able to download that QR code from Canva and then put it into your PowerPoint presentation. It's real easy. You'll be surprised how simple it is. Excellent. Another key takeaway. Angela.
Well, I like the part about the joint ventures. I do quite a few networking events, but that's with other travel agents. So I'm going to need to get out more.
Well, inside of the program that you've joined, we will be teaching joint ventures. I'm going to give you scripts on how to approach people, also spreadsheets on how to track the people that you've approached so they don't fall through the cracks, and what emails, and also all the jobs and all the posts and everything that you want your joint venture partner to do. We actually have all that templated out. So then all you have to do is go through and modify it, give it to them, and then they know when to post, what date to post, and it links to a folder of images that they will be posting and sharing. So as you're going through the program, it'll be one of the later ones that you learn once you've built out the sort of the beginning part. But once you've built out your sort of main lead attraction, your main offer, and we've got all of the messaging down, and that's all ready to go, we're going to teach you all of the things on how to do joint ventures and give you the automation to go along with it.
That is going to be awesome. Now, one other thing, I have people who are all over the place, and I just chose Facebook. Basically, that's where I'm comfortable at. Mm-hmm. I do connect with Instagram, but my main area is Facebook. So,
yeah, look, if that's where you're most happiest, that's why I chose Facebook as well. I was most happy there. It doesn't mean that you don't have to spread your message across to the other channels, but when you can hire a VA to take the content that you do and post on social, then your VA jumps in and grabs what you post there, and then they do the spreading across all the other social media platforms. You saw Erin in this morning. She was very hesitant in hiring somebody to do her social content, but she was wasting so much time, not just making it, but then having to schedule it and doing all of that. She hired recently, and she goes, oh my God, so worth the investment. Yeah. And
the only other thing is I do want to eventually start doing podcasts. So I guess that'll be a part of like teaching, explaining some of the things, why you need a travel agent or what's happening in this location, stuff like that. Give them pointers on
And bringing in
things, so-
previous people that have used your services and interviewing them. What was a holiday like? What made it easier because of what I did, and all the sorts of things like that. So yeah, and because yours is all about just teaching them about travel and all the different places and the different restrictions and all of those things. So when they're ready to travel, you're the first person that pops into their mind.
I hope so.
Yes, you will. I know you've got it in you. You're an amazing lady. You're an action taker, and I'm so excited to be working with you more closely over the next 12 months.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you.
All right, and another key takeaway. Who else would like to share from that lesson? Yes, Jacqueline.
I think I was choosing, the ones, that I thought that I could do, I feel comfortable with doing. And getting in front of people, I think will be working for me. And I think that was one I didn't know about, and I haven't really gotten there, but I think I'm going to be, after we had our mentoring session, I think I'm going to be on the fast track now, because you were pointing out some things where I thought, I was thinking ahead, trying to get ahead of the system. But the long story short is, my takeaway was getting in front of people, and showing up, and not making a big fat hairy deal out of it, but just doing it. And then there's like there's more than one thing you can do to get trapped, and you just have to do it. You have to do the things, and so that was my takeaway.
I love that. Yeah, no one's going to come running to you and go, take my card. That's the easy, I know it wasn't easy to build the funnel. And eventually it will become the easy part of what you do, is building the marketing things. But none of that's going to make any difference if you're not actively putting people and directing people to where it is they have to go. So you need to be choosing an option on how am I going to let people know what it is that I do to get them into that funnel. And then there's lots of other things. In our next lesson, we're going to talk through the 7 different stages of the customer's life cycle this week. But this is the beginning point. It's the very top of the funnel. And the only way to get people in it is you guys have got to do the doing. I've helped you build it click by click. I've helped you refine it and come up with your idea, but I now can't be you to drive people into that funnel. That is all you. This is why we don't give any guarantees for results, because you're the ones who have actually got to get out there and do that part of the business. We can't do it for you. Sometimes I wish that I could just show people how easy it is if they just, it should be part of your daily activity. And if you've been into any of my training, I used to say I would not go to bed until I had 5 new emails every single day. You add that up over a month, that's 140 emails. No, it's 140 emails. It's 35 a week, 140 something over a month. Every day you go to bed without getting your 5 is a day you can't get back. So you need to really make it a key focus now. Now, just not the emails, of course. You've got to nurture them. You've got to follow up with them. You've got to get them on sales calls. But in regards to what we've learned and been going through, that one part has to be a high priority, not creating more funnels. You don't even know if this funnel works yet until you put people in it, and that'll be in our next lesson. So let's do that. Let's jump on into our next lesson. All right, now you have this funnel, you've decided on your traffic source, and now we've done the build it, now we've got to measure it. So we optimize, because we always have these 3 things: build it, measure it, and optimize it. And I want you to promise me you're not going to build another one until you have at least got 200 new emails, okay? Because we need those numbers to make an informed decision. It's like if you did a survey and you asked 5 people, do you like water? And everybody says no, and everybody hates water. You can't. You can't make an informed decision on 5 people. The same thing when it comes to your marketing funnel. There are some certain statistics that I'm going to share with you, some numbers and some metrics that I want you to hit before you make any changes, okay? Now, if you do not pay, for traffic is going to take you more time. And if you do pay for traffic, you'll get there faster, but it's going to cost you money. And that one, that's your choice. You're an adult, you decide. But let's jump back over into my whiteboard. All right, so here we are on the whiteboard. Now, you have this freebie to give away. Okay, so you've got this beautiful freebie to give away, and you have this landing page where you're going to be collecting an email address. Okay, now this is the conversion, and you can watch your metrics in Insights. If you've got a Facebook Pixel installed is another way, or you can put Google Analytics and install it. If you don't know how to do it, Google it. Okay, there are a gazillion videos out there that show you. If you're in KEAP and KAJABI, you'll have analytics you can look at, and the same with, like, KAJABI is a really easy place to go to look at your analytics. But what you're looking at is 20% of people at the minimum, 20% of people that view your page should give you an email address, which means from every 100 views, hang on, can I, every 100 views, you should end up with 20 emails. Okay, so that's the first checkpoint. Now, I would say where you will start actually paying attention to the numbers is around the 200 views. You should have 40 emails. When you hit this metric, if you haven't hit those, we need to look at that landing page and see, is there a messaging problem? Is there a reason why people may not be clicking through? And with that, we change one thing at a time, and we've got to hit the same numbers again. One thing at a time and hit the same number again. All right. So when we hit those numbers, we can make an informed decision if it is what the change is. Now, if you go and change 50 things, you're not going to know which one of those actually made the difference. And it actually affects future builds. It affects deeper into the funnel. It affects how you do your consult calls and all of the things. All right. So usually I will still look, like if I've had 100 views and 0 opt-ins, that's a huge flag that says it's definitely not working, right? But if you've got 17 opt-ins and you're under the 20, I'd still let it keep running. If you've got 2, I would say that's a huge red flag if you've only got 2 opt-ins and 100 views. So again, it comes down to, you've got to kind of weigh up how many views to how many opt-ins, but our goal is you might get those last 40 in the last 50 views. I mean, well, you won't. At least when you get to 100 views, you should have a few opt-ins. Okay, so that's our main goal, is we want to convert at 20% on that landing page. Now, we know we convert some of our landing pages at 40% and 70%. They're awesome landing pages, right? And we've given you the template that actually gives those sorts of results. So the only thing that now is going to affect those results is the messaging on the landing page. Okay, so that's your first point. Next is they land through to the calendar page. All right, so now they're either booking a calendar or purchasing your offer. This is, our goal is 2 to 5% on that page. So for every 100 emails, you should get between 2 to 5% of people either booking an appointment or purchasing your tripwire, okay, or your low ticket offer. Anything less than 2%, so it's under 2%, there's something wrong with that landing page and we need to fix it. Okay, the only way we're going to know here is 200 emails. We cannot make an informed decision on that page until you've had 200 emails, which means you should have 4 bookings, or at the minimum 4 bookings or 4 sales. If we haven't hit that, there's something wrong with the page and we have to look maybe at the video, or we look at the verbiage that's on the page, okay? So the messaging and copywriting. So that's the main goal there. if you're not hitting those metrics, we have to change one thing and then we have to wait. See, this is the thing. People think, oh, I've got all this money, I can spend it and I can scale fast. You can't. I wish there was a quick way to scale. It's math and time, right? It's time and money. Now, I can get 100 views in a day, but I pay for those. I pay for people to view my landing page to test it. And now the next one I'm going to talk about is the actual one-on-one consults. Now, this is sales training. You should close at bare minimum, even if you've done no sales training, at 20%, because you are good at what it is that you do. Okay? So for every 10 people that you have an appointment with, you sell to 2. If you're not selling to 2 people, you need to learn better sales techniques and how to speak to people. Now, once you've learnt sales, you should be able to get up around 30, 40, 70%. Some people are naturally good at selling and can do that really well. But if you're not, guess what? It's not rocket science. It's just a skill. That's all it is. It's just a skill that you can learn. When you've got the framework, anyone can sell. And selling is helping. It's not ripping people off. It's not taking advantage of people. Selling to somebody is them saying, I really like what you do. I believe that you can help me. Let me exchange some money to get further help from you. Remove the emotional connection to the outcome of I've got to get this sale in this person, and focusing on loving and serving that person because they're an adult. They will make their own decision if they will buy from you. But if you can't close at least 20%, you need to learn how to sell. Bottom line, you just need to learn how to sell. And I've studied through some amazing sales coaches because I'm a rose-colored glasses, loving everyone, want to give everything away, good karma kind of person. And I had to learn the system, otherwise I wasn't going to be able to run a business. All right, so these are the main metrics that you are now going to be tracking. Your first goal is, how do I get 100 people to view my page? If you haven't got any opt-ins and you hit 100 views, well, there's something wrong with the page. If you've got 15 or 16, maybe the page is okay. Let's keep on going. It may convert higher. It's just the right people haven't viewed it yet. If you get to 200 views and you haven't hit the bare minimum, we're going to make a change. So this is where we have to be in it for the long game. We have to be willing to put in the time. If you're not driving people to that funnel, it's not the funnel's fault. It's not the funnel's fault. I can tell you now, I'm just going to come back to you because I can talk seriously to you. We used to build for people. We would build the entire funnel and then they would come back kicking and screaming, it's not working. I spent all this money and it's not working. And I'd be, how many emails have you collected? 4. The funnel's working because you've collected 4 emails. What are you doing to get people into it? Oh, well, shouldn't they just go to it? No. Let's be serious. We need to walk up and knock on people's doors and have conversations and get in front of people and keep showing up consistently. So whether they buy today or in 3, 4, 5 years' time, hello, Janet out there, they have been stalking you for a while. Sometimes it takes that long. But majority of the conversions as coaches, consultants, course creators is usually between the first view to 3 to 6 months to see if you are the person that they truly believe that can help them with whatever the problem is that you solve. So your focus now is hitting those metrics because it now becomes math and data makes decisions. Please don't get 5 emails and go, it's not working, I need to go and create a whole new funnel. It's not the funnel's fault. You need to be out there working on your traffic sources. And unfortunately, that is one part of your business. If you don't have money to spend on marketing right now, that is one part of your business that you are going to have to pound the pavement. I remember when I wanted a job, right? I wanted a job. I literally went every day. I would work from 9 till 5, walking in from shop to shop to shop, asking for a job. And guess what? It took me a week to get a job. When an ex of mine wanted to become a butcher, I literally wrote down every single butcher shop he didn't drive that we could get to by bus. And we spent every day from 9 to 5 writing down which people are thinking about taking people, which people are never going to take people, and then which ones we need to return to, follow up, the fortunes in the follow up. Within a week and a half, he had an apprenticeship. When I wanted to teach at a particular school, every single fortnight I walked into that school, and if the person who was in charge of the department wasn't there, I would write a post-it note and stick it on his computer and say, I've been here, any jobs for me yet? It's consistency. You've got to do the pounding of the pavement. Nobody else can do it for you except paid ads. And even once you do paid ads, you still got to keep measuring and optimizing those little suckers, because one change of an algorithm and you got to rethink your whole strategy. All right, so you've got to be pounding the pavement. Promise? Excellent. All right. That's our sexy math, baby. Start bringing me some sexy numbers, regardless of how small they are. I still want you to celebrate the wins, even if it is 10 views. Let's celebrate those 10 views. All right, just keep coming and showing me your sexy numbers so we can use that data to make decisions. And there's a fly. Can you see it flying around? Big, big blowfly. It is what it is. All right, I'm coming to the VIPs now. Hey, VIPs. Hello. All right, key takeaways, and then we're going dark and we're going to do live Q&A. But 3 takeaways. Who would like to share? Come on, don't be shy. Yes, Elfrida.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Yeah, takeaways. I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world. So this consistency. I keep hearing this every time you talk. So I'm gonna make a big post-it note, consistency for 2022.
Oh, you've got your word of the year. I love it. Mine's intention. That's my word of the year. Yeah, I pick a word every year. I love consistency. That has been one of my words in previous years when I was first starting out too. So great word. I love it. Who else would like to share a key takeaway? Yes, Karen.
I'm finding it a relief that you don't have to do all the social medias and you don't have to do all the things. It's just hearing you continually say, just hone in on a couple things and stick with it. And that's a relief.
Just go all in and build that one bridge on the one main traffic source. Because I started first, mine was getting people into DMs. What are all the different strategies I can do to get people into DMs? Posting in groups, testing different things I posted, making sure I, commented, gave value, looked for questions, found hot groups, did all of that to get them into the DMs. After that, it was like, okay, now I'm making a bit of money. Let's throw some paid ad money at it. And then joint ventures was the next one that I went all in on. And then I've learned webinars and other things, but I haven't done them all at once. Like I hone dial everything in, each little thing in, and use data to make decisions, not just wild accusations of the unknown. Numbers is where it's at. Business is about the math. Yes, it's about human connection and people and helping, but to become a viable, scalable business, we can't just put our head in the sand and ignore the numbers. So yes, one bridge, choose your platform. One other takeaway, and then we're going to go dark to spend a little bit more time with our VIPs. Who would like to share a key takeaway? One more. I'm going to call on Sarah. I'm actually going to call Sarah. Hopefully she's there. Because this is something I need Sarah to work on, so I'm just helping to reinforce by asking Sarah.
Now you're picking on me.
Not picking on you, loving on you.
Yes, that's true. Sparkly love.
That's it.
Okay, I need to be consistent. I need to show up, and I need to put in the time. It's not
Got it,
going to be
babe.
easy.
You got it. Yep. Love it. Love it. We're getting you there. A little bit of sparkling pushing and loving on you at the same time, because I know you have a multiple six-figure business there. I know it's there. I know it is. I believe in it so much because people love dogs and people hate pee in their house. Like, seriously. And then people get to the point where they're like, now I want my dog to do tricks or at least sit or bring the ball. Like, people pay for that stuff and people pay good money for that stuff. So you've got a viable business option there. It's like, I can see it all. Just, yeah, now I've kind of got you to the point, I can't be you. I wish I could. So you're going to do you and you're going to have Sally on your shoulder. What would Sally say? Oh, I've gone to bed. I've only got 2 emails.
Exactly.
I love it. I love you, Sarah. That's it. I'm just gently pushing because I know you've got it. And, you know, and I know my coach sees things I don't see. You know, that's why we have coaches, right? That's why I pay the big dollars for my coach is you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you're so in the weeds, you're so in the doing that you forget the things that you should be focusing on because you get stuck in all the other day-to-day runnings. And like every year I hire 2 to 3 coaches for different areas of making sure they see the things I don't see. And that's why you're here. Excellent. All right. Oh, there is another lesson that I wanted to share with you. I said to Kat, should we do it today? And I'm going to do it today. So let me talk about this one. Let me just bring up a new screen. All right. Because I just saw a question popping in here. What if you are a DM person? Yeah, I'm going to talk so much about the DMs. That's what this is all about. And also in person as well. So let's chat about it. Go away, comment, so we can do the live recording. It'll go away in a second. There it goes. All right. Now, finally, I want to speak to you a little bit about what are you going to say? All right. How are you going to approach people? And we've got a system for that. It's called the ask and follow up system. So I'm going to walk you through the steps. Of course, you are going to sort of modify it a little bit as you speak to people based on their problems and pain points. But there are some key points that you will make sure that you hit when you're having conversations with people, whether they're in person or in the DMs. All right. So let's head on back over to my whiteboard. All right, here we are. And now we're going to talk about the ask method, okay? So this is the ask method. So the first thing you want to do in step 1 is you want to compliment. Okay, so you want to give them a compliment on something. Oh, cute baby. I looked at your profile and there's a really cute dog there. Wow, puppy, how long have you had it for? So you're going to compliment and start a back and forth conversation for about 2 or 3 messages, all right? Then the next thing you're going to do, number 2, is you're now going to ask about a struggle. Okay, so you're going to question what is their biggest struggle. What's your biggest struggle right now with your puppy? What's your biggest struggle right now with getting emails? What's your biggest struggle right now with making sure you exercise every day? What's your biggest struggle right now with, insert the pain point, right? And what they're going to do is they are going to tell you what is the biggest struggle. All right. So now you can continue to dig deeper into that struggle, especially in the early stages of your business. Why? Remember the why at least 3 times, especially if you're working on your messaging. But once we find out their biggest struggle, and if you want to go message mining and dig a little deeper into that with the why, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. Can you elaborate on that? And go beyond the surface level. Oh, I just want more money. But why do you want more money? Because I'm really struggling with running my business now. And how would that help if you had more money? Well, then I'd be able to pay for marketing. And then why paying for marketing? Tell me more about that. What would you like to do with that? Well, once I pay for marketing, I know that I can get more leads. And what would more leads do for you? Well, then that way I would get more customers. And why do you want more customers? Because then I can actually, feel like I can put food on the table for my family. And why is that important to you? Well, because I want to feel like a really worthy parent to my kids, that I am putting all this time and neglecting them, but then also I can show up for them. And why is that important? Well, once I make more money, I can hire more people, and then I can have more freedom, and then I can spend more time with my kids. Can you see? That's message mining. That's digging. You can frame your why question lots of different ways, but it's really about getting to the heart of the problem. Now, in the very early stages, and honestly, as you progress through your business and you get better at your business, the pain points and the problems that you solve will move with you. Like when I first started, I was teaching people to hit the go live button back in Periscope. Now I'm teaching automation and how to save people time with the click by click, right? It's a totally different positioning, but it's still hitting the go live button was marketing. Right? But as I've grown, so has my messaging grown with me. And no, you're going to need to revisit your messaging a couple of times of the year at most, because as you grow, your messaging is going to grow. And this is where the struggling part comes in. Now, this is a really good bit. This is where we get them to say yes. This is the if I ... would you ... Oh, why are you, Sally? ... So this is the if I, would you. Look, I've actually got this really great resource. Now, insert resource, video, PDF, checklist, whatever the resource is, insert the name of it. If I send it to you, would you read it, watch it, listen to it? Okay? We're asking permission. We're not just shoving it in their face and saying, oh, check out this thing I've got for you. They're like, selling to me, go away, danger. Hey, I put together this checklist that I think might be a little helpful. If I send it to you, would you like to read it? How much nicer is that? If I, would you? If I, insert name of resource, right? And what you're going to do, send it to them, email it to them, drop it to them, whatever. Would you like to watch it, read it, blah, blah, blah. Right? Then the next one is, what are we going to ask for? We're going to ask for the email address if you're in the DMs, okay? If you're not in the DMs, you're going to drop the link to your funnel, all right? And then you can pop them straight in. So if you don't have a funnel, just ask, hey, if you just pop... Don't say, give me your email address. Again, that's like, argh. Hey, why don't you just pop your email address below? Just jot or pop or, your email address and I'll send it through to you. If you don't, hey, here's the thing. Go and drop the link, all right? So you'll do that, or you'll do the link in the ask section, and then that'll drive them into the funnel. We don't stop there. Next is... we now tell them how much time it's going to take for them to consume that resource, okay? And then you're going to ask them, when will they have a chance? So, look, it's a 3-minute video. When do you think you'll have a chance to watch it? It's a 2-page document, takes about 5 minutes to consume. When do you think you'll have a chance to read it? It's a 2-minute audio checklist. When do you think you'll have a chance to listen to it? All right. Now, they're going to reply to you. First reply will be some kind of blasé, tomorrow. Right? Now, we don't take the first answer as like, yep, they're definitely going to do it tomorrow. Do you know why? Because people will sometimes just say a time just to stop, right? We want to confirm. So step 6 is we repeat the time, the when. Oh, so you're going to watch it this afternoon. Is that right? Now, what that allows them to do is everybody knows sort of what they're up to within the next few days or even the next week. When soccer practice is, if they've got dinner out with friends, we've all got a mental calendar of what's happening in the next few days. By asking that, it actually makes them not just give a blasé answer, it makes them tap into their mental calendar like, oh, she's serious. And they might say, oh, this afternoon. And then they'll tap into their mental calendar and think, oh, I've actually got soccer practice with the kids this afternoon. I might do it this evening, right? So there's a reason why we do that. So we repeat it back to them so that we can get that conversation. Now, if they say, oh, I've got soccer practice in the afternoon, actually I'll do it tomorrow morning, you, again, repeat it back to them. You can't get past it until they're going, yes. So repeat it back to them. So you'll watch it this afternoon. Oh, no, I've got something on this afternoon. I'll do it in the morning. So you'll watch it in the morning then. Yes, excellent. We can move to the next stage. Number 7. Now we ask if I, and then if I, and this is where you put in your follow-up method. Will you, or can I? So, oh, great. So you repeat back to them what they said. So you're going to do it on Thursday, or you're going to do it tonight. If I reach out to you, so my follow-up here, can I check with you and see what you thought of it? What are they going to say? Yes, of course. You've just given them something for free. And do you know what that's doing? We're booking our follow-up appointment. So when we do reach out to them, they already know we're going to reach out to them. And I write this down. Never finish a conversation without booking your next conversation. I'm going to say that again. Never finish a conversation without booking your next conversation. All right, you got it? That's what you're going to do. So then number 8, because it's quite it's quite a broad thing. If I reach out to you on Wednesday, is it all right if I follow up and just check how you went with that? They're going to go, yes. Then we ask morning or afternoon. Because people are busy mornings or afternoons. Would morning or afternoon be better for you? All right. Now they're locking in a window of time. Not just any time during the day. They know you are going to reach out to them within a window in the morning. They're going to say morning. You go, oh, great. So what I'll do is, now we just tell them in step 9, we're going to pencil it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pencil that in my diary and I'll chat with you on blah. Guess what the next step is? Shut up. Stop selling. Stop asking. Leave it. They're an adult now and they're going to go do the doing. You can talk about the weather, about their kids, build a relationship, but no more talking about the resource. No more expanding on the resource. You then become salesy and pushy and they won't want to talk to you again. You've gone through this whole process in the matter of a minute or so. It becomes so basic. Look, I literally have no notes in front of me. I just know this because I've been doing this for years. You will actually start to notice in my chats underneath people's comments, you'll see if I were you, framed in different ways. In Facebook groups and all sorts of places. I'll have a compliment, what's your biggest struggle, and then an if I would you, if I jump into your DMs, can we chat more, right? So you will start to notice this popping up across the Sparkle world. All right, so make sure you shut up because otherwise you're going to ruin this amazing thing that you've created in the Ask system. All right, now let me move into the follow-up. Let's create another window. And the follow-up, we'll tap back into a little bit of the ask. Okay. So step 1 is to follow up like a pro. You said you were going to do it. Do it. Okay? You do it. I'm getting these. I'm very passionate about the follow-up. Don't put it off. I used to do my follow-ups in the morning, dropping my daughter off at school. I take all my morning follow-ups. I get there 30 minutes early just before all the craziness happens at school drop-off, and I'd get a park and I'd talk to my daughter. I'd watch her walk in. I'd sit in the car. By then, all the crazies were dropping their kids off last minute and yelling at other cars. I'd just sit in my car, do my follow-ups, fill that 15-minute void in with follow-ups. Most of the time people don't pick up. It's fine. At least I did my follow-up. And then by the time at the car park had calmed down, I'm ready to head home and I've done my follow-ups for the day. In the afternoon, guess what? Same thing. Get to school a few minutes early before all the crazies, drop her off, sit in the car, wait till she gets in the car, sit there and finish my follow-ups or let her play with her friends, fill in the follow-ups till all the crazies left, and then we'd head off. So back when I used to have to take my daughter to school, now she buses it, that's how I used to squeeze my follow-ups in every day. So follow up like a pro. The fortune is in the follow-up. I'm very passionate about follow-ups, can you tell? All right, now, what do we say when we follow up? This is easy. You call them, first thing you ask, is this, first you say, oh, hi, it's Sally, or hi, it's Angela. Just touching base like I said I was going to do about the insert the name of the resource that I gave you. Is this a good time to chat? So before we dig into anything, let's make sure it's a good time to chat. And if it's not, guess what we're going to do? We're going to go back to here. When is a good time to chat? Whoops, let's click on the right thing. When is a good time to chat? Okay, so this time is a good time to chat. If I, would you, and then, you know, if you need to use the morning or afternoon one and you've locked in your follow-up appointment if it's not a good time to chat. Hopefully it'll be later that day. Can you see how we're going to jump backwards and forwards between them? Now, once they say yes, this is super important. Super important. Don't say, I want to write this down and remove it from your brain, throw it away and burn it. Never say, what did you think? Never. Because the first thing that the brain will do, it's just a human response to being sold to being told what to do, is they will give you a yeah, but. It was good, yeah, but it's too much. Yeah, but I don't think I've got the time. Yeah, but. Never ever ask, what did you think? This is what you'll ask. What did you like best? There's two things you'll get from this question. One, they will point out to you what their pain point is by describing the thing that they liked the best, because the thing that they like the best will be the thing that they need help with solving. And we'll be able to hone in on that by, well, tell me more about. Let's go mining now. Why did you like that bit the best? How do you think that would help you? And we start to mine into that question. And then what we're doing is we're literally going back to the ask one and continuing the back and forth conversation between struggle to eventually the one of the if I would you is, well, if I find some time in my calendar, would you like to chat? Now, if you feel that it's too close to home yet to get them into the calendar and it's going to take a couple of more resources, your goal is resource follow-up, resource follow-up, resource follow-up, and a consult is a resource to a if I would you to follow up until they're informed enough to make the decision. You see, you cannot control them handing their credit card over to you. What you can control is giving really great resources to educate them until they are ready to buy. That's what you can control. So remove the emotional connection to the outcome of the sale. You have no control over their card. You can't go into their bank account and move money around and say, hey, look, if you don't pay that bill and you move that to there and then you can afford me. That's not your job. Your job, one, is asking really good questions to find out what their biggest struggles and pain points are and mining into that and giving them resources for them to do their own due diligence to choose if you're the right fit for them. All right, there we go. So that is the ask and follow up. It's literally rinse and repeat until you can know it off the top of your head like me. If you've got to print it out and put it in front of you, if you skip any of those steps, it will affect your conversion rates. If you don't rebook that, never finish a conversation without starting another conversation. If you miss any of those steps, it will affect your conversion rates. All right, there you go, guys. That's it. It's all up to you now. I have laid it all out. all you got to do now is start driving that traffic into that funnel and bringing me those sexy numbers. Looking forward to it. All right, there we go. Okay, let's come back to the VIPs. Hi, VIPs. All right, my beautiful people, key takeaways, and then we're definitely going dark. I had just remembered that I had to teach on that. All right, let's have a look. Sarah has her hand up. Sarah, how can I help you?
Well, I actually had a question that's kind of a takeaway. When you're having the conversation with the person and you're, I can't remember if you were following up or you were asking, but then you provide another resource. What form might that take?
Yeah.
You know, what are the steps between the lead magnet and the offer?
So the main thing you want to do is get them into Zoom or onto a phone. So your next resource is we call it a consult. You might call it a particular type of, a puppy session of some sort or something along those lines.
Okay, but in your example, you did it multiple times. So I was just trying to think what those other resources might be.
Every person is different. Some people may need multiple resources. Send them to your website. Could be a resource. Send them to a video you've already got. Could be a resource. Send them to read a testimonial. Could be a resource. The goal is after that first resource, get them to consult. Right? That's the main goal, but some people aren't always yet ready and they need more time. And just to have website, video, YouTube channel, Facebook page, we will add them to our paid group for 7 days to look around. Also, you've got to be flexible to know that every person has a unique set of, they've all got different barriers that they need to break through and objections you need to overcome. So the goal is to get them on the phone and then the goal is to sell, yes. But also listen to your people. That's really going to drive the decision that you make with where they go. And the more you do this, the more you'll start to see the same things that come up over and over and over and over again, and then you'll make a resource around that. And if you don't have one, you'll quickly whip out a 5-minute video to make one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Pat.
Yes, I have 2 takeaways. One, never finish your conversation without booking the next conversation. I thought that was pretty neat because usually I don't do that. So I'm going to start doing that. And the second thing, my second aha is repeat the time and when they're going to have something done. So I'm going to start implementing those 2 things. I thought those were great.
Excellent. Love that. And one more. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Pat, go. Love it.
That's okay. When do they get the bonus? Because in our little landing page.
Look, when they come into the consult, I can tell you, I probably only ever give the bonus 5% of the time when people remember. Half the time I forget. It's an incentive for them to click the button on that thank you page. By the end of the consult, they've received so much value, they forgot what was on that landing page 5 days ago. So, yeah.
Well, they may or may not get it.
They may or may not get it. If they remember, you remember, sure, give it to them.
Yeah.
But it's more of an incentive on that page. But like I say, probably 5% of the time, most of the time I forget that I even had that bonus on there. But they're already walking away with like a blueprint or a step-by-step plan of some sort that I've given them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. One more takeaway and then we're going dark. And I think I've got a consult on this afternoon as well. I need to make sure I'm for. Who wants to share a takeaway? Cindy, how about you?
Yeah, it was probably just a really good reminder, not to ask, what do you think? Because you probably could get all excited in the moment and say, yay, what did you think? If you've sent out your freebie and whatever. So just to be careful.
Oh yeah, I lost a lot of people in the early days asking that. So it's a huge thing that I always kind of repeat over and over and over again. What did you like best? What did you like best? What did you like best? Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to go dark now and we'll spend a bit more time. Kat, can you please check my calendar and message me and let me know what time my next appointment is so I'm not late. All right, guys, thank you everyone who joined the live recording. You have another week or so to get in there and do the building, do the clicking. It will all be going away and be put into our course. So you're very privileged to have access to this during the live recording portion of this. If you need any help at all, feel free to reach out. We've got some pretty exciting things coming up. I'm doing a 24-hour live coming up. And hang on a second. Let me check my calendar. Oh, it is. Today is masterclass. So from today, you should have received an email. I'm hoping the emails have gone out. We are running a graduation masterclass for this training. So make sure you register for it. There is a landing page, I believe. It should be in your calendar if it hasn't been pushed across yet, or it should be in an email, hopefully, that's gone out today. We have put together an amazing masterclass for you guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of those who have made it to the end. We're going to celebrate together. We're going to do an amazing masterclass, and that is happening next week. So make sure you register for that. And also the 24-hour live will also be happening at the end of the following week. And that's kind of like a big hurrah before we finish this amazing journey that we have spent together for the past few weeks, right? All right, my beautiful people, love you all. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. VIPs. Don't you worry, we've still got some time together. I'll be over joining you momentarily. Thank you. Show us some sparkle hands as we roll on out into VIP time.
Every change